Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to this video. I'm Venkat and this is just me an open source channel. So this is going to be another episode of Monday Mongo, and in this episode, in this video, we are going to add a new shard to our existing shard cluster. So for those of you who haven't watched my previous video, I would advise you to go and watch that previous video where I've explained how to set up shard, how to set up config servers, MongoS router, and the first shard. So in this video, I haven't got my environment from the previous video, so I'm going to start everything from scratch, but I'm going to go through that very quickly. So for those of you who have followed my previous video, you know what I'm doing right now, and I will come to adding the second shard. So in this video, we're going to start everything from scratch, right from setting up config servers, shard 1, MongoES, and then we are going to deploy another shard and then add that shard to that sharding cluster. All right. So I'm going to go to my GitHub repository. I've already logged into my GitHub repository and it's learn MongoDB sharding and setup sharding.doc. So if you remember from my previous video, we had these three directories for config server, MongoES, and shard1. So now I have added shard2 as well. So let's go through the steps to start our sharding. So git clone learn MongoDB. I'll put the link in the description for you. Okay, let's verify that our Docker service is running. So Docker service is running. CD to learn MongoDB and CD to sharding. So we have config server, shard1, shard2, and Mongos. And I'm going to start the config servers now. So docker compose -f config server docker compose.yaml up -d. So this is going to create me three Docker containers. So if I do docker ps, you can see three Docker containers, and we have the ports mapped to 40,001, 40,002, and 40,003 on my local host. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to log into one of the MongoDB instance to initiate the replica set. Okay, so MongoDB, and my local host, local workstation IP address, and port 40,001. Let me log in. So we have logged into our first MongoDB instance of the config server replica set, and we are going to initiate the replica set. All right, so that's the command to initiate the replica set. Copy and paste. Sorry, I haven't copied that. Copy that rs.initiate command and paste it here. Nope, I think I've exited out of the Mongo shell. Okay, and paste it. Cool, so we have initiated our replica set. So config server is a replica set with three members, one primary and two secondary. Let's look at the status, rs.status. Okay, so we have the replica set, and let me exit out of it. And now we are going to start the shard1 replica set with three MongoDB instances, right? So docker compose -f shard1 docker compose up -d. Okay, so this is starting another three Docker containers, docker ps. So we have 50,001, 50,002, and 50,003. All these are part of shard1. So we have three, one primary and two secondary MongoDB instance as part of the replica set for our shard1. Okay, again, we need to initiate the replica set. For that, we're going to log into any one of the three MongoDB instance on this shard1. Okay, copy that, paste it. We are in there, and we are going to initiate the replica set. Paste, done. And if I do rs.status, okay, so we have our three members, and you can see syncing to is empty, syncing source host is empty. You have to leave like 5 or 10 seconds. Okay, so now it should be okay. rs.status, and you can see syncing to 50,001 and 50,001. So excuse me. So we have three MongoDB instances, and they're all syncing to the first member, which is the primary. Okay, so that's done. And finally, we are going to create the Mongo Yes router. So Docker compose minus F, Mongo Yes, Docker compose up minus D. So this is just one MongoDB instance, and it's mapped to port 60,000 on my local host, Docker PS. So we have 6 MongoDB instances, 3 for config server as a replica set, 3 for shard1 as a replica set, and 1 for MongoES router. So all your interaction to the shard cluster will be through the MongoES. So MongoES, we have just deployed one MongoES container, but if you want, you can deploy many MongoES container. It doesn't have to be on the same machine. It can be on different machines. So that's the gateway entry point for your sharded cluster. You don't interact with your shard directly. So you have to go via MongoES to interact with your backend shards. Okay, so let me log into that MongoES running on port 60,000. Okay, so we are in here. We need to add our first shard. So the command is sh.add shard and the URI for our shard1 replica set. Okay, sh.add shard. So shard1 rs, so that's the replica set name we created for our shard1, and the members of the shard 50,001, 50,002, and 50,003. Okay, so that's done. And if I look at sh dot status, shard status, you can see that's our shard. Okay, I'm gonna bring the browser down so you can see that clearly. So we have shards. If you look at the shards, we have just one shard right now. All right, let me exit out of it. So this is where we left in our previous videos, and now I'm going to show you if you want to add multiple shard to the existing shard cluster. It's just a matter of bringing up your shards with replica set and then add it with the same command. Okay, so now add shard to the cluster, adding another shard. Okay, so we have shard 2. I'm going to bring up another 3 Docker containers, and I'm going to initiate the replica set. So all those 3 nodes will be a replica set. Docker compose minus F shard 2 Docker compose.yaml up minus D. Okay, so that's another 3, and Docker PS. So we have 10 Docker containers. So we have 3 Docker containers for config server, we have 3 Docker containers for shard 1, and we have 3 Docker containers for shard 3. Sorry, shard 2. Actually, I think I've made a mistake here. Name is, but don't worry, it's just a name. Shard 3 server 3. That has to be shard 2 server 3, just to identify from the Docker container which shard it belongs to and so on. But in production workload, production scenario, you wouldn't actually have all these machines in the same, all these instances running on the same machine. It will be on different machines, so that actually doesn't matter. Just a typo here, so it has to be shard 2 server 3. I will update that in my GitHub. Okay, so that's done, and we have created a shard. We need to log into one of the MongoDB instance and then initiate the replica set. So the 3 containers that I've created for shard 2 are running on port 50,004, 50,005, and 50,006. So let's log into one of them. Copy, paste. Okay, so now we are going to initiate the replica set. So note here the replica set name is shard2 rs. So the replica set name has to be unique. You can't use the same replica set name that you used for your shard1. Okay, I've copied that, pasted that, rs.status. Okay, you see syncing to sync source host is empty, so it is initializing at the moment. We have to leave like 5 or 10 seconds. So we have 3 members, rs.status. Okay, cool. So now we can see these nodes are syncing to 50,000 for one of the primary node in this replica set. Okay, let's exit out of it. And we are going to connect to MongoES again and add this new shard. Copy, paste, and then the command to add the shard is this one. Copy, paste. So if you see here, we are adding shard using the add shard method, and then the replica set shard2 rs and the individual MongoDB instances for the shard2, which are mapped to 50,004, 50,005, and 50,006 on my local host. Okay, so that's done. And let's look at the status of our shard. sh.status. Cool. So we have two shards now. So the ID is shard1 rs, shard2 rs, and the individual members here. So we are actually good. So we have set up a sharding with two shards. Each of them is a replica set. We have created a config server as a replica set, and we do have Mongo Yes to interact with our shard. So that's it I wanted to show in this video. In my next video, I will show you how to enable sharding for a particular database or for a particular collection. So you need to enable sharding on the database, and only then you will be able to shard a collection. So you're not sharding a database, you're sharding a collection. But in order to shard a collection to multiple shards, basically when you're creating a collection, you're saying that I want to store the data across multiple shards for high availability. And for that, you need to enable sharding on the database. So those are the things we will be seeing in our next video. Okay, so cool. Thank you so much for your time watching this video. And if you've got any questions or any comments or any feedback, please leave me a comment. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all in another episode of Monday Mongo. Till then, bye.